Today on episode 224 of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, the TCF Sports Minute, Mr. Fix-It, our NCAA Tournament preview, and the TCF Top 3 of Sports Playoffs. Let's roll. Hello and welcome back to Typical Chicago Fans, brought to you by our incredible sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. Today is episode 224. Make sure you find us on X at typical_Chicago. Head to Facebook and Instagram. Give those pages a like. For all of our content in video form, we are on YouTube. Make sure you just type in Typical Chicago Fans. Hit that red subscribe button there. Wherever you get your podcasts, we are there as well. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker. Wherever you get podcasts, we are there. Subscribe, rate, and review. 5 stars wherever you can. You can find me on X at BoomyTCF. And, of course, the gentleman that I'm joined with today, that is Zach at ZLiliaTCF. Zach, I know we talked about it last week. I'm on spring break this week. This weather blows, dude. I had the intention of golfing
going.
I had the intention of going every day, and my clubs are still just collecting dust in my garage. So,
it's going to be a while before we can golf. See, we're living in the safari right now.
This is awful.
Does it rain a lot in the safari? Am I wrong there?
I thought it did. In parts of it. I feel like the safari is more like in like the middle of Africa where it doesn't rain.
Well, wherever it rains a lot, that's where like what it is right now because I think we have like 2 straight weeks of rain.
Yeah, and it snowed a lot this week. This sucks.
Well, luckily, the snow didn't stick. It just kind of melted. But, yeah, there's running water all over the place. Somebody like me kind of have nothing to do right now because everything is wet.
Yeah, a little peek behind the curtain. We're recording this on a Friday morning. And like you said, the reason is I'm on spring break, but there's nothing you guys can do getting outside unless you want to just go play in the mud for 8 hours, in the cold mud, too.
Yeah, high of 41, muddy. That's just no fun.
No,
that's April 5th.
Ugh, this sucks.
We had better weather on Christmas.
Yeah, this is not fun, but it is what it is. It's baseball season. That means good weather's got to be close around the corner, right?
Let's say Illinois. What is it? Wait 5 minutes, you'll get a different season.
Yeah,
it literally is that way right now.
That is true. That's fair.
We've had everything.
Yeah, it is. Snow, rain.
Wind.
Unfortunately, though, I don't know if we've had a day like over 50.
Probably randomly.
Yeah. You're right. Probably somewhere in there.
Once the sun comes out for 10 minutes a day.
Yep, exactly. But as always, let's get things rolling, sinkers and floaters. My sinker this week is the NIT tournament. And that's not saying anything against the NIT tournament. It's been good. Don't get me wrong. There's been some really good games. Seton Hall won it last night. But here's my gripe. How is the NIT Final Four and the championship not at Madison Square Garden? That is an abomination to the NIT. Don't get me wrong. Hinkle Fieldhouse, if there's one place that if you're not going to have it at MSG, okay, that's the second best place you can have it is Hinkle Fieldhouse with all the history there.
I guess the history there, but like you go there to play like at a big place where it's cool. An NBA team plays there. I mean, like I said, history. It's cool to see Hinkle Fieldhouse, but it's like it's not that cool to play at.
Yeah, it's like, and also here's the thing. I know Butler stunk this year, but like, what if Butler would have made the final? They get a home game.
But I just don't get that. It's like you went from Madison Square Garden to there. It's like
that's quite a step, and like that's kind of like. The calling card for the NIT in our lifetime has been like, if you don't make the NCAA tournament, you go to the NIT, right? The NIT used to be the end-all be-all. That was before the NCAA tournament, right? And like the calling card though was that it was at Madison Square Garden, one of the most famous arenas in the world.
It has to do with money, I bet.
It has to. I'm going to go ahead. I'll do it here. It's James Dolan's fault. I don't know how yet, but it's got to be James Dolan's fault. There's no one else to blame.
Yeah. Seton Hall, NIT champs.
That was a good game, too. Finished on a 9-0 run. And Asheen Holloway, the former coach at St. Peter's, taking the Pirates to the NIT championship. Indiana State, Seton Hall. That was a great game.
My guy Frank the Tank broke the curse.
Yep. Yes, he did. So it was fun. It has to be at Madison Square Garden. Sorry. This might be old man yells at cloud, but that's
no,
okay.
not really. It's the cool atmosphere of it all.
Exactly.
My sinker is starting to work out.
Yeah.
Could they make it any worse? I mean,
dude,
if the first day wasn't as bad as it was, like a lot more people would work out. I know that sounds stupid, but like starting to work out is one of the worst pains there is because everything hurts.
I'm completely with you. I talked about it a little last week. I ended up doing 4 lifts last week. Kind of tweaked my back a little bit, no big deal. And then Monday morning I woke up and I could not pick my right arm up. My shoulder was so, and I didn't even I've done this as smart as you can do it. I've been doing super low weight and just kind of getting myself back in the routine. And I thought I was going to have to go see a doctor. My wife was looked at me. She's like, your right arm feels like it's out of place. Like it's sagging down. I woke up this morning with a kink in my neck. That has nothing to do with working out. I'm going to say, but dude, it's been brutal. It's been 3 weeks now and I am struggling.
I'm starting to think steroids.
I don't hate where you're at. I'm
no, because they always say, well, steroids just help you be able to work out the next day. It's and not feel that bad. Well, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. The recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't mind, I guess, working out per se, but it's just knowing that the next day you're going to feel awful or the next few hours you're going to feel awful. If I knew I could just take steroids and then you'd feel fine, whatever.
I did a cardio day on Wednesday because I was worried about my shoulder. And I just walked on the treadmill. I think it ended up being 45 minutes at an incline. And I was like, oh, great, nice little, easy day, burn 500 calories on the treadmill, didn't lift anything. Woke up Thursday morning, and my feet were just.
Yeah, see, makes no sense.
I mean, I walked 2.5 miles. I tried to take it easy, and I end up making things worse.
I bowl 3 games, and my feet hurt.
Oh, I know the one time we went bowling back in January, and I woke up the next morning and thought my right arm was going to fall off.
So I guess we need is steroids.
Yeah, so
there we go.
We're not saying we're taking steroids.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Hey, I'm not getting tested for them, so why not?
Exactly. Just kidding. Kids don't do steroids. Moving to my floater.
Leave that to me.
Yeah, leave that to the professionals. My floater this week is women's college basketball. We watched the games Monday night. Iowa and LSU, phenomenal game. And then right after that, UConn USC, 12.3 million was the average viewing.
If you're listening to this early, Iowa UConn tonight.
Yeah.
I think it's 5 o'clock.
Is that okay?
I'm not sure. I just know it's tonight.
And I don't know how much I've talked about it. I lived in the women's college basketball world for 5 years of my life. I worked for NIU women's basketball team and IVCC. But it was one of those things I've always had, obviously coaching in it for a long time and at a high level. And it paid for my college, essentially, working for the women's team at NIU. But I've always had, basketball's basketball to me. I don't care what age, who's playing it. I love basketball. And to see some insanely, I think, Zach, right now, if you went and asked the average sports viewer to name a women's college basketball player, they could probably do it before a men's college basketball player, right? Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, all these gigantic names. And there's something to be said about the women having to stay longer than the men do.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a huge, even going down the list, Haley Van Lith, Juju Watkins, all these big names. I love men's college basketball. I watch more men's college basketball than the average viewer. But I could probably name more big name women's college basketball players than men's for the fact that they're there longer and it's finally getting the shine. That game Monday night was incredible.
I did not realize Caitlin Clark was from Des Moines too.
Yeah, she's from right in the area, so
that's cool.
I think I feel like we could do that. We just walk down the street, and I feel like more people would name Caitlin Clark. I mean, in men's basketball, maybe DJ Burns right now, Zach Edey, but I definitely
Unfortunately,
feel
their Final Four is in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's kind of a kick in the shins.
But
it's been phenomenal. 12.3 million viewers. I'm very excited for the games tonight.
This Iowa-UConn game is going to be crazy too.
But I got a bad feeling that no one's taking down South Carolina. That team is loaded. Yeah. And I'll say this. We haven't even got to the TCF Sports Minute. There's a chance that the Chicago Sky will be slotted right around the time that Angel Reese is projected to be drafted. Please draft Angel Reese. Name recognition. You're going to put people in the seats. Wintrust is a great arena. Make it happen.
It'd be good for business.
It would be good for business. And she's pretty good. Let's not act like we're just drafting.
She was SEC Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So my floater is the Masters. You gotta love Masters Week. Monday, there's you can just literally watch people shoot at the range.
Yeah,
that's fun to do. And I think Wednesday is the par 3 contest, which is always fun to watch. And it just seems like a week that is just, you always go, oh, it's a Masters, like this and that and whatever. But then it comes around, you're like, this is awesome.
So at first I was a little upset because obviously being off of school this week, I was hoping that this was the Masters week. And I learned on Tuesday that it wasn't. But it makes perfect sense. The NCAA tournament's going to finish Monday. We got to get through Tuesday, Wednesday. Obviously, you can watch the par 3, little tournament outing on Wednesday. But you get through Tuesday, Wednesday, boom, you're right into the Masters on Thursday.
When you think about it, tonight we had the Final Four for women. Then we got Final Four for men. Then the championship game for women. Then the men's championship. And then you right into Wednesday for the par 3. Then we got Thursday is the first round of the Masters. It's just a great week or so here. It is.
It is a great time. And it's kind of that we're not quite there yet, but with the playoffs for NBA and NHL starting here soon, it's that time of year we get not the sports.
Whenever Tiger Woods is going to play golf, it's big time.
Exactly. People are going to tune in more often for sure.
Good for Tiger Woods too, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I did see that. All this sports talk's got us moving right on into the TCF Sports Minute. We're starting off with the Cubbies. 4-2, sweep the Rockies in an ugly, ugly weather week at Wrigley. My brother made it to the game on Monday. Obviously, we talked about the weather here in this area. It's probably even worse up that close to the lake. But 4-2 to start the year. Not even a bad 2 losses in Texas against the defending champs. I mean, yeah, they blow the lead in the 9th on opening night, but
we're Christopher Morel Grand Slam away, most likely, from having 1 loss.
Yeah, exactly.
Really only 1 game that second game against the Rangers was not good.
That was the one that got out of hand, right?
Yeah.
And those will happen.
Oh yeah, they had some defensive errors, and Ben Brown was just coming in for his first time and stuff like that. And we got a good taste of Craig Counsell here with the reliever coming in for 1 inning to start the game, and then throwing it to Ben Brown. I think we're going to see that a lot more often.
I don't know how I feel about that. Just let Ben Brown start.
I know. I'm just saying though. I just think you've seen him do that quite a bit with the Brewers playoff time. So I think it's something that he likes to do.
Here's my argument against it. He's a young pitcher, right? He's got to learn to go out and start the game. He's going to be a starter in this rotation. We don't need to do the training wheels thing. It's early enough in the season. He clearly showed after he came out. What was the second that he came out? And Luke Little looked good. Don't get me wrong, but I throw the kid in the fire. Let him figure it out. He'll be okay.
I've never seen someone end the game and then start the next game.
Yeah, that is true. No, I can't complain. I mean, I've got some things right here as far as the offense is concerned. The Cubs
walking percentage is amazing.
What'd you say?
Walking percentage.
Walking percentage is really good. Let me see if I can. They are third in the league in total walks. They are sixth in Major League Baseball in batting average. They are second in Major League Baseball in on-base percentage. Ninth in slugging, but on-base plus slugging, they're fifth. So the offense is there.
To play at Wrigley Field for 3 games and their slugging percentage still be that good
in the weather that they've been playing in. I mean,
the stat that I told you and your dad last night. Seiya Suzuki and Christopher Morel have had a hit for like 100 miles per hour or faster in every single game this season.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah, that exit velo.
I think it was 116 was Seiya's first home run.
Jeez.
I mean, Seiya Suzuki, he's
did you see what the ball that Bellinger hit off the scoreboard? What did that come off as bad at?
No.
I didn't either. I thought I had heard it was like 110, but that was an absolute missile.
But a big test this weekend with the Dodgers.
Big time. I do feel a lot more confident that the Dodgers are coming into Chicago and not the Cubs having to go out there, right? Sunny California guys.
Yeah, maybe
this weather.
Yeah, it's like your brother's not gonna like me saying this, but like you said when we play the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, that is
they
true.
Didn't like playing here, but yeah, it can help, but it can also hurt. I think I don't think Nectar liked the cold weather very much.
He'll get I mean, a guy that played. Don't get me wrong. He's played games in the North in his career, but it's a little different. He looked.
Do you remember Jorge Soler when he used to play?
Wore the
oh my god, he did not want to be there.
That's a guy. As soon as he went south, I think he went to the Braves first, then Miami, or maybe vice versa. Yeah. That's a guy who wanted to be in the South, which is understandable.
I miss Jorge. Dude, he hit like 40 home runs.
Dude, he hits the ball very hard. I do miss Jorge Soler. We should do a podcast just sitting and talking about old Cubs.
Yeah. I was talking about Starlin Castro the other day.
Oh, love Starlin Castro.
I think Starlin Castro's like, as of right now, 36 years old.
Yeah, if even that. He's not a ton older than me, I want to say. Because the only reason I remember this is between my junior and senior year of high school, we were watching him down in Arizona in rookie ball. So I was maybe 16 or 17, and he was like 19. So he'd probably right around 35, 36. So I miss Starlin Castro. On the other side of town, the White Sox are abysmal. There's really no other way around it.
There's one good upside, though. Garrett Crochet has been pitching very well.
Yes, he has.
His first 2 starts.
He's been pitching very well. He's looking like the kid that they were hoping he'd be when he got, opening day starter. They're 1-5 right now.
I'm not trying to be rude by any means, and I know I'm a Cub fan or whatever, but Eloy, something has to be wrong.
Yeah,
something has to be wrong. You can't have this many like abdominal strains in your career, and like what is it? Oh, not even a week into this season, we have more problems with it. Like, is he not stretching? What is going on here?
Like you said, it's beyond just stretching at this point. And unfortunately, though, like with the abdominals and the obliques, like he's this far along in his career, that's just going to be attack. Like that's not something that just, even if you get surgery, you're going to have complications from that for the rest of your life.
Like when Eloy was supposed to be like one of the best players in baseball, we traded him for Quintana, and it was like this huge deal, this and that. And if you look at it right now, I mean, yes, you could still say the White because of Dylan Cease.
No, the Cubs won that trade.
Well, in overall, Dylan Cease is a really good pitcher.
Who they traded for nothing.
I understand that, but he still was good.
Yeah.
Eloy, it's like at this point, would the Cubs want Eloy?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's just you can't rely on him to be in the lineup. He seems like a really nice guy too.
Yeah, it's frustrating because, like
you said, if you cannot stay healthy.
Was it him that got hurt and then they like toted his jersey out like he had died?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That was weird.
No, it was weird. It's just injury after injury.
Last night we got home from my brother's. We were hanging out watching the NIT, having dinner. We got home, turned on the White Sox game. It was like the bottom of it was the top of the seventh, and the White Sox were down 2-1. I'm like, oh, little game to throw on in the background. Not 5 minutes later, boot a ground ball, hits all over the place. Kansas City scores 8 runs in the bottom of the seventh. The White Sox lose 10-1. I mean,
that bullpen.
It's so bad. It is just unbelievable.
And Michael Kopech, he's a closer now.
Well, the fact that they also beat the former World Series champions.
But everything's fixed now. They signed Michael Clevenger.
Yeah, screw Mike Clevenger. I've been reading more about all that stuff with him. He's not a good person.
Oh no.
And it seems like this signing is not going insanely well with fans.
Unfortunately, in baseball, that'll happen quite a bit.
I know I went through some of the Cubs' offensive numbers. White Sox right now, 28th in batting average. They are batting as a team 183. Their on-base percentage is the worst in Major League Baseball at 260. Slugging percentage, they're 23rd, so bottom third of the league. And on-base plus slugging, they are 27th. I don't think we're going to have to hash through these statistics all year because it's going to be bottom dwelling. But do you think they're a bottom 3? I think it's them. I think it's Colorado. And I'll be honest, I think the Nationals might be worse than the A's. The A's are bad, but at least the A's have something to play for now.
I guess, but if you're the A's, it's so sad.
It is. And then sending Echeverry Ruiz down and the other guy for wearing the screw John Fisher.
There should be a way where teams should have to sell.
Yes. It's and it just got announced they're going to be playing in Sacramento for the next 3 seasons.
Yeah,
Sacramento, I'm sure, beautiful park. I saw the pictures, but that's not a Major League Baseball stadium.
No, that's insane. That's crazy to think that they're going to play there for 2 years. I think. Yeah.
That is wild. 1 win. The White Sox and the A's have 1 win.
The Rockies.
The Marlins might be worse than the White Sox. They are 0-8.
The Marlins deserve to be bad.
The who?
The Marlins. They deserve to be bad.
Why's that?
A poorly ran organization.
Yeah.
They actually have a good season and then they fire people.
Did you see that? What happened with that Kim Eng or whatever?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They fired her.
Yeah.
They
tried to demote her.
Yeah, after
she
a good
did phenomenal,
season,
and they tried to move her to demote her.
And they start off
to stick it.
They haven't won a game yet. It's like you deserve that. Good. They
deserve to go 0-162. They're a poorly run organization.
The Marlins want to be bad.
They're unbelievably bad.
Remember, what was it? 3 or 4 years ago, they beat the Cubs in that play-in, and
Sixto Sanchez.
Yeah, and then
came out firing.
They just don't care to get any better.
That is true. Speaking of teams that are awfully bad, the Blackhawks, 22, 48-5, 49 points. Still second worst in the NHL.
Yeah, they don't lose enough, honestly.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. They're losing plenty, but San Jose is just holy cow, man. I mean, don't get me wrong.
There's still a few games where I'm like, oh, they won that game. I wish they would have lost.
Yeah. I think they only have 7 games left on the season, so thank God that'll be over. And then we can just start crossing our fingers for Macklin Celebrini.
Yeah. That'd be crazy.
But on the positive side, Zach, we do have playoff hockey in the Blackhawks organization. The Ice Hawks clinched. I see you got your shirt on today.
We've been saying that. We've been saying how good this Ice Hawks team has been.
Which is wild because they started the season off really poorly. But going to the playoffs, clinched not last night, but the night before. So
that's awesome.
Little playoff hockey. It'll be more.
We went to a playoff game, I think, 2 years ago in Rockford.
Yeah,
it's rocking.
It's a great. If you haven't gone, if you live within an hour and a half, 2 hours of Rockford, you need to get to an Ice Hawks game. They're a good time.
It's much cheaper than a Blackhawks game. They're better than the Blackhawks right now. I know Connor Bedard, awesome to see. But I mean, and it's good food, good desserts there.
It's cheap too.
Yeah,
like you said, way cheaper than I shouldn't say cheap.
And
but
any seat is good.
There's not a bad place to sit in the arena. That is true. Moving on, the Bulls 36-40. We've said that they're cemented in that 9 seed, but Atlanta's played well. They're only a half game up on the Atlanta Hawks for the 10 seed right now. Not that
they're
it's
officially in the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
Just depends on if they're the 9th or 10th seed.
Big game tonight. They got the Knicks tonight.
We had a big game against the Hawks too, and
DeJounte Murray just coming in and wrecking shop.
They don't get up for the right games.
No. The Knicks, who theoretically are better than the Bulls. Now, granted, they just lost Julius Randle for the year. The Bulls are at home tonight. They are a 1.5-point favorite. If I wasn't a Bulls fan, the Bulls are one of the teams I don't bet against. I would probably bet against the Bulls. I mean,
Jalen Brunson back in Chicago, I think he's going to drop like 50.
I love Jalen Brunson. Been a fan since we saw him when he was in high school. Wish he would have signed with the Bulls, but that was just wishful thinking. I don't know, man. Here's the thing. This Bulls team is going to be in the 9-10 game. They're going to beat the Hawks. Then they're going to play the loser of the 7-8 seed, which right now
they just played the Hawks and lost.
I know.
At home.
I know. It just feels like a game they're going to win.
They're just going to beat the Hawks.
And Trae Young will probably be back. Trae Young will probably be back for that game. But here's what's going to.
If Trae Young is back, you might as well. The season's over.
They're going to beat the Hawks. Then they're going to get the loser of the Heat 76ers. It doesn't matter. They're not going to beat either of those teams.
No. Not with Joel Embiid back.
And then if they do win that, they're going to get Boston. Good luck.
You know what? I'd rather just lose
16 Celtics.
I'd rather just lose to the Hawks.
Yeah, just take us out of our misery nice and early.
I mean, they'd have to lose 2 really good players for the Bulls to win maybe 3 games.
Yeah, even then.
I mean,
Christ, dude, they lost to the Wizards. They've lost to the Pistons. What are we talking about? We would need something catastrophic to happen to the Celtics.
Jason Tatum is going to score like 50.
Yeah. They could send Deuce Tatum out there. They'd be just fine. Doesn't matter. Anything on the Bears front? Draft is a little I don't even know when the NFL draft is anymore. I stopped.
Caleb Williams was in Chicago, had dinner with teammates, people within the organization, like general manager, stuff like that. So, I mean, at least it's nice to know he's in town talking to teammates. I mean, you can't make it official, I guess, which I guess I don't know rules. But, I mean, he's as much a Bear.
They can come out any time and say they're taking him.
But it's nice for him to get to know his teammates, stuff like that. I don't get any, like, why would Caleb Williams want to go to the Bears? I know we've had a long history of not great quarterbacks, but if you look at it on paper, I mean, it's the best situation a number 1 quarterback has pretty much ever gone to, because you don't go to teams like that.
Yeah,
you
rarely
teams that have
going to a bottom dweller.
DJ Moore and Keenan Allen and stuff like that. It's just that never happens because the Bears shouldn't even have that pick. It should be the Panthers who, on paper, are a number 1 pick.
Exactly. Yeah, it'd be very interesting to think what would be happening if they hadn't traded that pick and the Panthers did have the 1. They took Bryce last year. What would they do if they're sitting there with Caleb Williams staring them?
They're taking them. They're easy.
Yeah, that's.
I think they would trade Bryce Young and
they would do exactly what happened to Josh Rosen. I think. Remember that?
Yeah.
Josh Rosen, they got rid of the kid, bring in Kyler. Zach, I did look it up. We got 3 weeks from yesterday is the first round of the NFL draft, April 25th. So a little under 3 weeks here. Anything could happen, but I think like we keep talking about, we're just playing the way.
I want it to happen. I want them to go for number 1 overall pick. The Bears take Caleb Williams, and then we can just move on.
It has been like 2 months of just nothing, waiting.
Because I can't take some of these callers that go in and be like, well, what if we get Drake May? If we get Drake May, I may never watch the Bears again.
Jaden Daniels. JJ McCarthy.
No. It's Caleb Williams, or I'm going to be very mad.
Just for content purposes, that would be we would have to record right after just to get your reaction.
I really don't know what I would do.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. But something you do want to come to fruition is to go visit our friends over at Connect Roasters.
Oh yeah,
they have the best coffee.
You see, like Ben Brown, he had a Connect Roasters coffee cup as he's going into the Wrigley Field. The Cubs love Connect Roasters, and look at it. That's why they're so good.
Yep, they'd probably be 0-8 like they haven't played 8 games, but they'd find a way to be 0-8 like the Marlins. Yeah, we're drinking Folgers every day.
Maybe they need to get the Connect Roasters and the White Sox.
They need. Why not? They need all the help they can get. But that's because Connect Roasters makes the best coffee around, that you're going to find the best coffee beans coming from the best places that have been sourced ethically, found in great places, great connections with the growers. They work with our guy, Dom Frederick, Ian Happ, the Cubs. You know it's good stuff. Those guys aren't going to drink bad coffee. Make sure you check out their website, connectroasters.com. Follow them on Twitter at Connect Roasters. And if you get over to Bourbonnais here, anywhere in the area, you got to go visit their storefront, Connect Roasters in Bourbonnais. So as always, a big shout out to our friends over at Connect Roasters Coffee. Make sure you go get some for your mornings, any time of the day, to be honest with you. Can't go wrong with Connect Roasters. Get some teas too. Their teas are incredible. Let's jump into it, Zach. We got Mr. Fix-It. This idea came to me when I was ranting about the NIT and its location. So we're going to imagine a world where these major final events, these championship events, are held at one location every single year. You've got to pick one. So let's start off. Where would you hold the Final Four every year?
Indianapolis.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
They always say it's I've never really been there. I guess it's just me going off.
You're not missing a ton.
But they say it's all in one area. It's easy to get to. It's not like crazy far away.
Centrally located.
Yeah. It's not like if you live on the West Coast, East Coast, you have to fly like crazy far.
Yeah. The thing with Indianapolis, if you look, the major highway system basically goes in a big circle around the city. So it's really easy to get around. And I believe it's one of those cities that it's the test market, that in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, for like fast food.
For all food.
Oh, all
sit down fast food. Like that's where they try everything at.
I might need to try that out. I've never been to Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's not bad. The times I've been there have been like in July for AAU basketball tournaments.
And also, you know what? It's not going to bring in like the celebrities and this and that. It just kind of keeps it even.
That's a good point. I am going to go with. I feel like the final. I'm not going to go major arenas. I'm going to go back to the birthplace of basketball. We're going to Springfield, Massachusetts. There is an arena there, and they do the high school. I don't know if it's Under Armour or Jordan Brand, but they do like an invitational there, and it's usually over Martin Luther King Day weekend, and it probably holds like 5,000. But let's expand that. Let's expand it to 20,000, 25,000. It needs to be in the birthplace of basketball.
Boomy's thinking about the history.
100%. 100%. But like you can't have the Final Four in that arena. I also am more of a fan of holding it not in like football stadiums.
Well, yeah.
I know that they want to bring in the money, but like it needs to be in a basketball arena. Just expand. I think it's at a college there. I think it might even be called like Springfield College or Springfield.
You know where they should play? Where the Hoosiers play, you know?
Yeah, only 100 people are allowed to come to the game. I'm all in for that.
That'd be pretty sick.
That would be awesome.
Expensive ass ticket in the middle of nowhere.
Yes, it would. The World Series. If you had to hold the World Series, where would you put it? You got to think. Early November.
I'm thinking.
You want to give you mine?
You go ahead.
San Diego, California. Beautiful stadium, beautiful weather. It's going to be nice. You're probably not going to get anything rained out. If you have to go to a domed place, go to Arizona. Those are my two. But it would be San Diego 1, Arizona 2. San Diego's got a great ballpark. Great weather. I mean, it's San Diego. Who wouldn't want to go? And to be honest, the Padres probably aren't going to be in it, so it doesn't matter.
True.
Because I wish it wasn't November. I could say.
I know. I wanted to say like Seattle, but that'd be pretty shitty.
Or even like I was going to say like Boston, like a historical.
I guess you kind of really had to say like a Californian team, but I don't really want to.
Dodger Stadium sucks.
A new Texas Stadium would be pretty sick.
New Texas Stadium, that's a good one.
Because you know it's gonna be nice. You want to say like Wrigley Field would be awesome, but I mean it'd just be cold and shitty.
Yeah, it's probably gonna snow.
And I want to see good baseball in the World Series.
All right, last one. Super Bowl. Where are you putting the Super Bowl every single year?
I hate to be this way. I think it should be in Dallas every year.
I don't disagree. That's a good choice. I was going to say one of two. My first one was going to be LA because I love SoFi Stadium, but also Miami would be another good one.
But just think about the stadium. Like, that's just built for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think SoFi did really well.
Yeah, so SoFi and Dallas are like made for just giant events.
Yeah. I think Miami, you run the risk of rain.
Stand out from any other stadium in the NFL.
I agree. I think Miami, you also run into the chance that, like, I mean, it's early February. There's a good to fair chance it's going to rain down there. They do have like a canopy top, but it's not a it's not a dome like.
Because you couldn't play anywhere like in the like you could play Chicago, Green Bay, Minnesota. That would suck.
New York. Remember when they did the Super Bowl in New York? How stupid!
Yeah, that was wild.
That was dumb. That'd be another good one for Indianapolis. But also, Cowboys probably aren't going to be in the World Series, so we can go ahead and Super Bowl. Go ahead and put it in Dallas. Let us know where you guys would put them. Put those three. Let's move into our final weekend of college basketball preview. Final Four kicks off Saturday night, 5:09 and 7:49. Stop with the nonsense. Make it 5 o'clock. Make it 7:30.
Because even that, it's not going to start at 5:09. It's going to start at like 5:15 or something.
Yeah. I wonder if they do like 5:09 because 5 o'clock is when they go to the broadcast.
Also,
lineups and anthem.
Halftime is taking forever.
Yeah, that's been a case for a long time, though. It's longer than the normal college halftime.
I know. It's like, come on.
I agree. But first game of the night, Purdue and NC State. Purdue, a 9.5-point favorite.
I want NC State to win. I want them to win, but I just don't know.
I think Purdue is going to win the game. I don't know if they're going to cover 9.5.
I just don't know what is NC State going to do with Zach Edey.
Yeah. I mean, DJ Burns has been playing incredible, but Zach Edey is a completely different monster than any team they've seen.
He's also like 6 inches shorter than them.
Yeah, I agree. Here's my worry, Zach, and this has been kind of the case the last couple of years. The Final Four games have not been great for a while.
No, and like really, UConn's setting up to not be a great game in a way. Like it's.
Yeah, I mean, like I just said, Purdue 9.5-point favorite.
10-point spreads, right?
Purdue's down to 9.5, and UConn's up to 11.5.
Yeah, so they're not great. I mean, there's way better spreads in the Elite Eight, which
100%.
I guess isn't crazy, but you wouldn't think that there would be two. Well, I think did Purdue start off as over 10?
Yeah, I think it was 10.5 to start.
Who would have thought that in the Final Four?
Yeah, I mean, when you get these kind of Cinderella stories like NC State, don't get me. Like I said, I would love for NC State to win this game, but I'm looking at kind of the rundown. There's the only thing that NC State is better at is free throw percentage, and it's not even that much. This Purdue team has just been playing so well.
UConn just went on a 30-0 run in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
What do you do with a team like that?
Yeah, and Alabama, they're playing well, but I mean they haven't had the toughest route. They beat Clemson.
No.
North Carolina. That I shouldn't take away anything from that. That was a great win, but this UConn team is on another level.
I'm not an Illinois fan, but if they had Alabama's way to the Final Four, I think Illinois is in the Final Four.
I don't know if Illinois is going to get past North Carolina, but it's the same amount of odds.
UConn, which is just, what are you going to do with that? I mean, it's a team that was looking awesome. And then, like we were talking last night, you don't go on 30-0 runs against just a random team you play like first week of the season.
They didn't even go on a 30-0 run against Stetson.
That's crazy. 30-0.
They went on a 30-0 run against a top 12 team in the country.
Yeah, very good Illinois team.
Yeah, dude.
And I know whatever you say may not go over to the Final Four. They play a week after this, but like they've been doing this the whole tournament.
Yeah, they've lost one game since January 1st.
Was it Dan Hurley always says, we make sure it's we blow out teams because we're not good at close games.
Yeah. And so let's go theoretically. UConn and Purdue both win. Championship game Monday night. I still think UConn's the better team.
Oh yeah, UConn is. There's no one who can stop UConn right now. And if someone does beat UConn, I think that's an upset. I think
of those other three teams left, the only team that has a shot, and it's because they have a 7'4" kid,
Purdue.
Is Purdue. And Klingen's played really well. Don't get me wrong, but like Zach Edey is better than Caleb Klingen.
Oh yeah, but then they have multiple guys who can go in and guard him though, which helps UConn.
Yep.
UConn's like, oh, you want one guy to come off the bench who's probably like 6'9", 6'10" to guard him, and then another guy who's 6'9", 6'10". It's like they have multiple players at positions.
It's easy to sit here and say that UConn's good. I think Purdue might be able to pull this out. And I say that also, I have them in my bracket. I've got a future on them. But if there's any team left that has a shot against the greatness that UConn,
there's only one team that has a shot, but I just don't think it matters.
It's 7'4", man. It's hard to guard. I know UConn's got some dogs, but if Zach Edey turns around and can give you 30 and 15 like he can, I think that could be enough. And depending on how the guard play for Purdue,
if you have a game plan though, that maybe you let him score 30 and then make sure the rest of the team
has been playing out of his mind too.
Yeah,
I mean,
but still got to get there first.
Yep.
NC State is done something that no one thought they would.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch.
I think they were saying like their first game in the conference tournament, they won by like a buzzer beater.
No, they were down 1 at half to Louisville, who's arguably the worst Power 5 school in the country. They were down to Louisville at half by 1.
And then was it the next game they won by like a buzzer beater?
Virginia, they sent that game to overtime against Virginia on a buzzer beater.
Yeah, now they're in the Final Four.
Yeah. That's the beauty of this tournament.
But you know what? The thing about NC State is they got confidence.
100%.
They're already farther than they thought they were going to ever be.
Yep.
And then a team with confidence at this time of year, they can get hot, and then that's what they go out against a team like Purdue. They don't really care they're playing Purdue. They're just having fun.
Yep, exactly. Should be a fun weekend. I love college basketball, so this is. I do have a feeling that this could be Final Four games not close, and then a great championship game. Purdue.
I really think overall Final Four women, men's. This will be the best women's/men's you've ever seen.
Yeah, and I know we went over it earlier, but like you said, tonight, the women's Final Four, I've got it right here. At 6 o'clock, South Carolina and NC State. Poor NC. I just have a bad feeling South Carolina's going to rip through that. I mean, South Carolina.
You say that, and then like South Carolina versus either UConn or Iowa will be a great game too.
Yep, 8:30 Iowa, Connecticut. I got
it's on Sunday. You got nothing going on Sunday afternoon, championship game.
South Carolina women 36-0.
Yeah.
I mean, I think just whoever wins the Iowa UConn game. That's the nice thing is in this Final Four.
I want Iowa to win so bad. I'm just not a Gino Auriemma guy.
I love Gino. I love Gino. But either way, I mean, you get two of the top 5 players in the country in that second semifinal game with Beckers and Caitlin Clark. I mean, I don't think there's any way it's not going to be a close game.
And it was cool, everyone watching the Iowa LSU game, and Caitlin Clark came to play.
Yeah. I mean, what'd she have?
40? She had 41 points.
41 in an Elite 8 game. Spreads tonight, South Carolina, 11.5-point favorite. Iowa nearly edging out UConn, 2.5-point favorites for tonight.
I think that's exactly how the games are going to go too.
Kind of like both of the favorites there.
Yeah.
But that 2.5 points, I love that. That shows me it. Hopefully that turns out to be the game that just keep it rolling, right? It was incredible games.
It's cool too. The backstory: Caitlin Clark wanted to go to UConn, never got a scholarship offer from UConn.
Yep.
And now plays them in the Final Four.
Absolutely. So should be a great weekend of basketball.
But hey, can we not do it in Cleveland?
Yes. Come on. Cleveland is where, when I worked for the women's team at NIU, that's where our conference tournament was at. That place sucks.
Yeah, we want to do the Final Four for women in Cleveland.
Yeah, come on. Can we send the ladies somewhere nice?
It was kind of funny though. Caitlin Clark said it's just like a bigger Des Moines, which is kind of true.
Yeah, she's not wrong. And Des Moines probably cleaner.
Yeah.
Cleveland's a dump.
Oh,
I'll die on that hill. Let's wrap things up, Zach. All this talk about, playoffs and where we're going to host championships. We're going to do the TCF top 3 of the best sports playoffs. Can I go first?
Sure.
March Madness, NCAA men's or women's basketball tournament. If you want the women's, you can have it, but the NCAA tournament is the best.
I think that's a good one.
I mean, just think, especially that first week where starting Thursday to Sunday, it's 16, 32, 48 games in 4 days. It's the best.
So then I get 2 here.
Yep.
I'm going to go baseball and hockey.
Oh, I was hoping you would let hockey slip.
Hockey is so exciting.
Hockey is a great second-round pick.
And Major League Baseball is just so much fun, too.
I agree.
Especially because I know some people wish there's the old playoff ways back, but the play-in games with now having a 3-game series has really made things more exciting.
Yeah, hockey is great. I'm completely with you there. My second round, I'll stick true to myself. The NBA playoffs. It's tough. They are very long. They are very long. That is the one downfall.
I understand it. They're professionals. They need days off, whatever. But this meant they have we can play back to back at some point.
Yeah, or even we don't need to have 3 days between.
The NBA Finals gets to be ridiculous.
Yeah, it does. But my last one.
But with your other choice with the NBA, it's nice because the players actually start playing hard. I know it's not like an old guy; they don't play hard in the regular season, but you're not going to play as hard in the regular season as you would in the playoffs.
It's definitely a different level.
Yeah, it's just different. It's just how it is.
Some of my best basketball memories of the NBA were, especially in high school was, the Bulls Celtics series.
Oh my God,
watching D Rose in the playoffs.
That Derrick Rose, I think it was his rookie year.
Well, yeah, against the Celtics when Kirk Heinrich and Rondo.
I think they went 7 games and lost.
Yeah. I believe that was my senior year of high school because we watched one of the playoff games on my buddy's phone. I
listened to that in my parents' car, in front of a Hy-Vee.
No, I remember because this was back when smartphones were very, very primitive. I don't remember if we watched the game or if we listened to it on my buddy Dylan's phone during prom at the Mendota Civic Center. So that was always a good memory. My last one, Zach, I'm going to go with the college baseball playoffs, right? You start off with the regionals, then you go the pods of 4. It's double elimination. Then you go to the super regionals and then the College World Series, something I've gotten into a lot more here in the last couple of years. Shout out to 11.7 podcast. But college baseball is just different, man. And the way they do it, double elimination. It's not like the NCAA tournament where it's one and you're done. You can work your way back through the losers bracket. I'll go to the college baseball playoffs.
I'm gonna go with the new college football playoffs.
Oh, the one coming up here in December.
Yeah, I think it's gonna give a lot of teams like Cincinnati and stuff like that more of a chance.
Yeah, I mean, even thinking about
play Alabama right away in the playoffs and give Alabama maybe a chance to lose to a better team or something like that.
Even thinking about those, the NIU teams that were in the Orange Bowl, the Western Michigan,
Florida.
Yeah, I'm a big fan and I'm very excited.
Even a team like a Notre Dame don't just have to go straight into playing Alabama.
Exactly. Oh, that's a good pick. I'm very excited. Now, I really hope they do things right and get it.
Chance. It's the NCAA. They're not going to.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're going to do something to screw it up for everybody. But it's just
and also it feels like they've already talked about changing it.
Yeah. Oh, well, they're going to change it 3 different times.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Until it actually happens, you can't believe it. Yeah. Anything with the NCAA.
Yep, that is true. That is true. Let us know what you guys think are the best sports playoffs. There's some definitely ones we're missing here, but
I would say soccer, but I just don't understand any of the soccer stuff.
Yeah, I wish I understood that more. NFL playoffs, just I don't know. It is what it is.
Also, it's not their fault, but it's just too long. You only play once a week.
Yeah, that's true.
I know, like conference or conference championship games are fun.
Yeah, but then there's 2 games. Even a wild card weekend.
Honestly, the best weekend in the NFL playoffs is like the first 2 weeks.
Yeah. The
wild card in the division. There's more games.
I agree.
And then you gotta wait 2 weeks for the Super Bowl. I think that's crazy.
Stupid. We talked about it last night, but they've got to get to a point where the Super Bowl is on that. Is it President's Day weekend or Martin Luther King? Yeah, President's Day. They got to do it. Figure it out, NFL. If you need some help, give us a call. But thanks for checking in, guys. That was episode 224. Make sure you find us on X at @typical_Chicago, Facebook and Instagram. Give those pages a like. All of our content on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe there. Subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcast. 5 stars wherever you can as well. You can find me on X at BoomyTCF. And, of course, Zach at ZLiliaTCF. Maddie actually has to work today, so make sure you give him a follow at schools_01. We're going to go get some delicious Cajun food for our Friday off here and enjoy the rest of our day. But we thank you guys for joining us. Episode 224 of Typical Chicago Fans. We love you all.
Peace.